Hey there. Thanks for stopping by today. Can I ask you something? Have you ever worried about a senior loved one living alone? Maybe a parent, grandparent, or even yourself. Maybe you've thought, are they really safe in their own home? If so, you're definitely not alone. Living independently as we get older is something many seniors cherish. It's about freedom, comfort, and dignity. But it also comes with a unique set of challenges, especially when it comes to home safety. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Now, I know this topic can feel a bit heavy, but stick with me. I promise this isn't going to be a dry lecture or a checklist of rules. Instead, I want to share some practical, easy-to-implement tips that can truly make a difference. Plus, I'll weave in some fascinating science along the way that explains why these things matter. Before we dive in, here's a quick heads up on what we'll cover. We're going to look at simple ways to prevent falls, avoid accidents, and create a home environment that supports health and happiness. Whether you're a senior yourself or helping someone you love, these insights will hopefully give you peace of mind and real tools to act on. But first, a little science to get us started. Did you know that falls are the leading cause of injury-related hospital visits for adults over 65? According to the CDC, 1 in 4 seniors falls each year, and many of those falls happen right at home. It's a startling statistic, but it highlights just how important home safety really is. Here's the thing, our bodies naturally change as we age. Muscle strength can decrease, reflexes slow down, vision might not be as sharp, and sometimes medications can cause dizziness. All these factors increase the risk of accidents, even in familiar surroundings. So, how do we make a home safer to compensate for these changes? Let's start with the basics. One of the most impactful adjustments is clearing clutter. It might sound simple, but clutter is a sneaky hazard. Think about it, loose rugs, piles of magazines, electrical cords, or even scattered shoes can become serious tripping dangers. I once knew a woman named Betty, who insisted on keeping all her family photo albums stacked in the hallway. One day she tripped on the pile, and it led to a nasty fall. After that, she cleared her walkways and used a small, sturdy shelf to keep everything neatly arranged. That small change made a huge difference. Beyond clutter, lighting plays a big role. Poor lighting can make it tough to see obstacles clearly, especially at night. Studies show that improving lighting can reduce falls by up to 30%. Simple fixes like brighter bulbs, night lights in hallways and bathrooms, or motion-activated lights can really help. And speaking of bathrooms, this is a high-risk area for falls. Wet floors and slippery surfaces are a recipe for accidents. Installing grab bars near the toilet and in the shower or bathtub can provide crucial support. I remember my own grandfather mentioning how those bars made him feel confident enough to shower on his own again, without fearing a slip. Now here's a question for you. How often do you check that your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide alarms are working? These are lifesavers. Older adults are actually more vulnerable to fire-related injuries because of slower reaction times and sometimes sensory impairments. So it's vital to have working alarms and to replace batteries regularly. Also, don't forget about emergency communication. In case of a fall or sudden illness, having a phone within easy reach can be a game changer. Some seniors prefer wearable alert devices that automatically notify emergency services if they can't reach the phone. This isn't just about safety, it's about peace of mind. Okay, before we keep going, I'd love your help with something. If you're enjoying this video so far, comment Y below. If not, comment N. It helps me know what's working and what to improve. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Now let's dive deeper. Let's talk about the layout of the home. Sometimes, the way furniture is arranged can create hazards. For example, narrow pathways or sharp corners might increase the risk of bumps or falls. Arranging furniture to allow easy, unobstructed movement can make a big difference. One woman I know actually rearranged her living room after she bumped into her coffee table multiple times. She replaced it with a small ottoman and made sure there was plenty of room to walk around. The change not only helped prevent falls, but made the space feel more open and welcoming. While we're on the subject of furniture, it's worth mentioning chairs and beds. Seniors may have trouble getting up from low seats or beds that are too soft. Choosing chairs with armrests and firm cushions, and ensuring the bed height is comfortable to get in and out of can support mobility. Little adjustments like these can foster independence. Another important factor is the flooring itself. Carpets and rugs can be tricky because they can slip or have edges that catch your foot. Non-slip mats or rugs with rubber backing can prevent that. Even better, if possible, consider flooring that's smooth but not slippery like cork or vinyl. Now, while all these physical adjustments are great, let's also think about habits. For instance, wearing proper footwear inside the home matters a lot. I know many seniors love to walk barefoot or wear slippers, but these often don't provide enough support or grip. Shoes with non-slip soles, good support, and a snug fit can prevent slips and falls dramatically. At the end of the day, creating a safe home is really about making smart, small changes that fit naturally into everyday life. It's not about turning the home into a sterile environment, but about balancing comfort with safety. So, what's coming up next? We'll take a closer look at how technology can help seniors live safely and independently, from smart home devices to emergency alert systems. Plus, I'll share some tips on how to talk with your loved ones about home safety in a way that feels supportive, not scary or overwhelming. Stay tuned, there's so much more to explore, and I'm excited to keep sharing these ideas with you. Before we begin, I want to make one thing clear. This video is for informational purposes only and is based on publicly available research. Everyone's health is different, so always consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your lifestyle, diet, or exercise routine. Scientific knowledge is always evolving, and what works for one person may not work for another. Now that's out of the way, let's get back to those home safety tips. Last time, we talked about clearing clutter, improving lighting, bathroom safety, emergency communication, furniture arrangement, and footwear. Those are foundational, but the good news is that there's more we can do, especially with the amazing technology available today. Technology sometimes gets a bad rap as being complicated or intimidating for seniors, but that doesn't have to be the case. In fact, there are many simple, user-friendly devices designed specifically to enhance safety and independence. For example, smart home systems can control lights, locks, and thermostats through voice commands or easy apps. Imagine being able to turn on the porch light before you step outside in the evening, just by saying, "Hey, turn on the porch light." That simple action can reduce the risk of trips and falls in the dark. I know someone who recently helped her dad install a voice-activated assistant in his home. At first, he was hesitant. "I'm not a tech person," he said, but soon he was using it daily to remind him to take his medications, call family, or even listen to his favorite music. The boost in confidence and independence was incredible. Another critical technology is personal emergency response systems, or PERS. These wearable devices can detect falls or allow the wearer to call for help with the press of a button. Studies have shown that seniors who use these systems tend to have faster emergency response times and better outcomes after accidents. Plus, family members feel less anxious knowing help is just a button away. While tech is fantastic, it's also important to think about daily routines that promote safety. One easy habit is to always keep a clear path to essential rooms like the bathroom and kitchen, especially at night. Nighttime trips are often when falls happen. If a senior can't easily reach a light switch, that's a risk. That brings me to another tip that combines routine with technology, using night lights with motion sensors. These lights only come on when someone moves near them, so there's no need to fumble for switches in the dark. Plus, they save energy because they aren't on all the time. A simple, inexpensive change like this can prevent countless falls. Speaking of the kitchen, did you know that many household fires start there? Cooking is a common activity, but it can also be dangerous if seniors are distracted or have difficulty moving quickly. A good habit to develop is never leaving the stove unattended and to always turn pot handles inward so they don't accidentally get knocked over. I've heard from a senior named Ruth who added a stove timer that automatically turns off the burner after a set time. She told me it made her feel so much safer cooking alone, especially since she sometimes forgets to check the clock while she's busy chatting on the phone or listening to the radio. On the topic of fire safety, it's smart to have a fire extinguisher easily accessible and to practice a simple evacuation plan. Knowing the quickest and safest way out of the house in an emergency can save precious seconds and lives. Now here's something that often goes unnoticed but is super important. medication management. Taking the right medications at the right times is vital for health and safety. Many seniors are on multiple prescriptions, and mixing them up can cause dizziness, confusion, or other side effects that increase fall risk. One solution is to use pill organizers or medication reminder apps. These tools help keep everything in order and reduce the chance of missed or doubled doses. Plus, they give family members peace of mind, knowing the medications are being taken correctly. But it's not just physical safety that matters. Emotional well-being plays a huge role too. Loneliness and isolation are unfortunately common among seniors living alone, and these feelings can affect cognitive function, mood, and overall health. According to a study published in the Journal of Aging and Health, social isolation can increase the risk of premature death by up to 29%. So while making the home physically safe, don't forget to nurture emotional connections. Whether it's regular phone calls with friends and family, joining a local senior center, or even online video chats, staying connected boosts mental health and motivation to maintain safe habits. I remember a friend telling me about her mom, who started attending a weekly knitting group. Not only did she make new friends, but the group encouraged her to take small walks to and from meetings, improving her balance and strength. That's a perfect example of how social activity can support physical safety. Now, since we've covered so many aspects, from clearing clutter and improving lighting to using tech and managing medications, you might wonder, how do I even start? The key is to take small, manageable steps. You don't have to change everything at once. Pick one area that feels most urgent or easy to fix and build from there. For example, if a senior you know is struggling with night trips to the bathroom, start by installing night lights and placing a phone nearby. If medication confusion is a concern, try a pill organizer or schedule a check-in call around medication times. Remember, safety isn't about fear or restriction. It's about empowerment and confidence. It's about helping seniors live their best lives, comfortably and independently, with less worry for themselves and their loved ones. Up next, we'll explore how to address some of the common emotional and mindset challenges seniors face when it comes to accepting help and making changes. Plus, I'll share some encouraging stories of people who overcame these hurdles and found new joy in embracing safety and independence. Stick with me, it's going to be uplifting and empowering. Hey, welcome back. If you're still with me, thanks for hanging in there. If you haven't already, feel free to drop a Y in the comments. It really helps me know you're finding this helpful. Now let's talk about something just as important as the physical safety measures we've covered, mindset. I get it. Sometimes the hardest part about making a home safer isn't the changes themselves, but accepting that they're needed. For many seniors, living independently is a huge source of pride. So, hearing suggestions about safety can feel like a threat to that independence. Maybe even a reminder of getting older, which no one wants to face head-on. I want to share a story about a man named Harold. He was a very independent guy, used to doing everything on his own. When his daughter suggested installing grab bars in the bathroom and a personal alert system, he was resistant. He felt like it was an admission that he couldn't take care of himself anymore. But after a minor fall that luckily didn't cause injury, he realized these tools weren't about losing independence. They were about protecting it. That shift in perspective is crucial. Safety modifications and tools don't take away freedom, they give freedom. Freedom from fear, from unnecessary risks, and from the worry his family felt. Science supports this too. Studies in gerontology show that when seniors feel empowered by their environment, meaning they have control and confidence, they tend to stay more active, engage socially, and have better mental health. All of these things are linked to fewer accidents and better quality of life. So how can we foster that empowered mindset? One way is through involvement. Instead of making decisions for seniors, involve them in the process of identifying risks and choosing solutions. Let them voice concerns and preferences. This makes the changes feel like personal upgrades rather than imposed rules. Another mindset challenge comes from fear of change itself. It's normal to resist unfamiliar technology or new routines. Here's where patience and small steps really help. For example, if a senior isn't comfortable using a smartphone or smart home device, start with one feature, like voice commands for lights or setting simple reminders. Celebrate small wins and build confidence gradually. Also, having support from friends, family, or even community groups can make a huge difference. Sometimes just knowing someone's there to help or check in makes adopting new habits easier and less intimidating. Now, let's talk about the role of physical fitness in home safety. Maintaining strength, balance, and flexibility is one of the best defenses against falls. Research consistently shows that exercise programs focusing on balance and muscle strength reduce fall risk significantly, sometimes by as much as 35 to 40%. I remember a neighbor, Helen, who started a gentle yoga and balance class designed for seniors. Not only did her balance improve, but she felt more confident moving around her home and went from needing a walker to walking independently with just a cane. If exercise feels daunting, even simple daily activities like walking, stretching, or standing on one foot while holding onto a counter can help. The key is consistency. And again, making it enjoyable, like doing exercises with a friend or listening to favorite music, boosts motivation. Nutrition also plays a part. Strong bones and muscles come from a diet rich in calcium, vitamin D, and protein. Deficiencies can lead to weakness, brittle bones, or dizziness from low blood pressure. So, ensuring a balanced diet or consulting a healthcare provider about supplements can support safety indirectly but powerfully. Before we move on, let's remember the emotional side again. Aging with grace isn't just about physical health. It's about accepting changes, finding joy in new routines, and staying connected. Seniors who maintain social networks and hobbies tend to have better emotional resilience and cognitive function, which again lowers accident risk. I know it can sound like a lot. There's home safety, technology, mindset, fitness, nutrition, emotional well-being. But here's the secret. All these pieces work together. Improving one area often positively influences others. For example, joining a local senior walking group improves fitness, social connection, and confidence in moving around safely. As we prepare to wrap up in the next part, think about which of these areas resonates most with you or your loved one. What feels doable? What excites you? Starting with motivation and a positive outlook is half the journey. Coming up, I'll recap everything we've covered, share some final empowering takeaways, and give you easy, achievable steps to get started right now. Plus, one last science-backed insight that might surprise you. Thanks for being here. I'm looking forward to our final conversation. Hey again, we've covered a lot together, haven't we? From clearing clutter and improving lighting to embracing helpful technology, shifting mindset, staying active, and nurturing emotional health. Let's take a moment to casually recap some of the key ideas before we wrap up. First off, the heart of home safety for seniors living alone is about creating an environment that supports independence rather than limiting it. Small changes like better lighting, grab bars, clear pathways add up to a safer space that lets you move confidently without fear. Remember how we talked about technology? Smart home devices and emergency alert systems are there to empower, not complicate. Whether it's a voice-activated light or a wearable alert button, these tools give an extra layer of security and peace of mind. And perhaps most importantly, the right mindset makes a huge difference. Accepting help and safety measures isn't about losing independence, it's about protecting it. When seniors feel in control and part of the decision-making, they're more likely to embrace changes that keep them safe and thriving. Physical fitness and good nutrition are like your secret weapons. Strong muscles and bones, good balance, and a nutritious diet all play major roles in reducing accidents and supporting overall well-being. Even small daily movements and balanced meals can have ripple effects on health and safety. Finally, staying emotionally connected, whether through family, friends, or community, fuels motivation and mental sharpness. That's crucial for living fully and safely. Here's a last science-backed insight for you. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology found that seniors who engage in just 30 minutes of moderate exercise, 5 days a week, reduce their risk of falls by nearly half. That's incredible. It shows how small, consistent efforts pay off big time. So what can you do right now? Maybe it's moving a lamp closer to the bedroom door, asking a loved one to help install grab bars, trying a simple balance exercise, or setting up a weekly phone call with a friend. Every little step counts. We'd really love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions for future topics or questions you want answered, write to us in the comments below. We're here to help, and your input could inspire our next video. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on more practical tips for healthy aging. Here's to living your best life at any age. Thanks so much for spending this time with me. Stay safe, stay strong, and see you next time.